Hello everyone, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions and to create space on all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan, support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Sunday. We actually just dropped a thought piece this past Sunday, so be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. Now, if it is the case that you are looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available wherever podcasts are playing, but we have also provided you with access to at least 12 links down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like these conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Allô les meufs et les mecs. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And today our topic of discussion is mental wellness. And on the topic of mental wellness, I'm going to be talking about the bumps and bruises that come with telling the truth. And I am someone who is a truth teller. I am the classic black sheep of the family because I speak my truth. I have always spoken my truth, and I understand that it comes with a pretty heavy toll, right? So I think a lot of us assume that speaking the truth is really easy, that everyone appreciates you when you tell them the truth, that everyone wants you around because, hey, you are an honest human being, but it couldn't be any more different. And in fact, even as a child, like when you spoke the truth, when you spoke bluntly, a lot of the times I was reprimanded, I was scolded, like, you know, someone's breath could smell really bad, and if you told them that, like, you would get in trouble, despite the fact that that person now has the opportunity to, like, deal with the situation. And as a child, that was who I was. Like, if there was anything about you that was putting me off in any way, shape, or form, like, I was going to tell you about it. I was going to tell you about it, and my expectation was that you were going to fix it. And so many of the reprimands and of the conversations that my parents had with me was surrounding the nature of telling the truth, how delicate it was, how touchy of a topic it was to tell the truth. And I never really got the memo, I guess, because as an adult, I also tell the truth, and I'm still getting met with the same resistance. And I think all of us get met with resistance when we tell the truth, but telling the truth isn't for the people around us, it's for us. And I tell the truth for me, to alleviate my conscience, to make sure that I've done my part, and what you do with it is beyond my realm of control. But here are some of the things that give you a sense as to, well, if someone is speaking their truth, like how and to what extent should I agree, or should I even give audience to this truth? And so very recently I was very public about some really terrible experiences that I've had, and even outside of that. I'm very open and honest about all of the experiences that I've had, and I've realized the people who hate the truth the most are the people who want to get away with bad behavior. And whether that's bad behavior by way of criminal behavior or bad behavior just by way of just antisocial behavior, no one wants to get called out and wants a full microscope on their behavior. And I think that it's really interesting because I am someone who has always been very blunt. I've always been very direct, very honest, very open, and yet I am still the subject of a lot of bad behavior. And I don't understand how this is the case. I don't understand how this continues to be the case when I am notorious. I am known notoriously for telling the truth is what I do. And I'm okay with dealing with the riffraff, with the consequences that come with that. And what are some of the consequences that come with telling the truth? So if you're sitting on a fence, if there's a truth that needs to be told, but you're weighing the pros and cons, for me, the pros always outweigh the cons. I do definitely believe in choosing your timing with care. I think that there's time and place to tell your truth. I think if you feel like you're in danger, that's not the time to tell the truth. You hold off, you bite your tongue until there's a better situation for you so that you can speak your truth and not necessarily subject yourself to harm. But there's never going to be a situation where I see something that I'm fundamentally in disagreement with, and I'm not going to speak my truth about it. One of my favorite classes in high school was Greek mythology, and I went to a high school in the middle of nowhere, so we had the luxury of classes like Greek mythology. But my teacher, and I don't remember his name, but I do remember this lesson, he was talking to us about philosophical debate, and he was talking about when it is the case that two people are arguing and that two people are kind of documenting facts and trying to sway and persuade an audience on their perspective, on their point of view, on their reality of things, the first person to attack the author loses. And so I always consider it to be a win when I tell the truth, and the first thing that happens as a byproduct of it is I get personally attacked for it. I know that means it's a win. And why do I say that? Because if you had a concrete rebuttal, if you had any leg to stand on, then you would use that rather than try to tear me down. If your first defense is to discredit me, you've lost. If your first defense is to try to make me look like I'm insane, you've lost. If your defense is anything but the topic at hand, you've lost the argument. And because that was how I was trained if you're having a discussion around perspective or around experiences or around things that took place, and you both have very different points of view on how that took place, the first person that changes the topic from the actual situation to the person who has explained their perspective has lost. So I think that for me, when I think about telling my truth, like if I'm writing a review online and I get met with a personal attack, for me, anyone who understands debate, anyone who is a truth seeker knows that if the only thing that you can say in the light of the truth that I'm sharing is me and discounting me and trying to tear down my character and trying to rip me apart, you've lost. If you have nothing to say outside of, well, that's not true, you can't explain, well, what was it that I missed? Like, what did I misunderstand? What did I misconstrue? If you can't make those kinds of statements and give me cause to reasonably doubt my perspective or the way that I've observed things or the way that I've framed things, then you've lost, right? And I am someone, when it comes to speaking my truth, it takes a while. I process my truth. I am my most rigorous filterer before I speak my truth. By the time I say something, I speak my truth into existence, I have spun that truth around in my head so many different times that when I speak it into existence, I am confident that that is what took place. I am so confident that my five senses did not fool me, they did not steer me wrong, because I am the first person to try to discount the things that I'm seeing that I feel like I'm met with disbelief in seeing, or that I feel that I can't believe this happened, or I'm so horrified that this took place, or this is such disgusting behavior. Before I actually open my mouth to speak it for the purpose of holding other people accountable, trust and believe that I have played that tape in my head so many times around to be 100% confident, because I never want to tear someone down, to rip someone apart by accident. If I'm speaking up, it's because I'm very confident, I'm very sure that what it was that I experienced is real, it's true, it's real, and that the danger or whatever risks associated with that behavior, those are real, and those are not just to me, those are for other people. I think all of us have the right to make an informed choice, and I think only the people who want to get away with bad behavior and who want to get away with doing things that are just completely inappropriate have an issue with people who tell the truth, even if I don't get a thank you. And very rarely do people, even the people who appreciate the truth, feel grateful for the truth, because oftentimes truth is a bitter pill and it demands change. When you speak the truth and that truth is jarring. It demands action. And I think a lot of people, the reason why they begrudge the truth teller and why they begrudge the people who tell the truth is because it means that they have to do something with that information. You can't just sit on the truth. You have to do something with that truth. And I'm someone that's like a hot potato. When I'm holding on to a truth, until I speak it, until I feel like it's the right time to speak it, like I feel like I'm burning to speak this truth into existence. I need to share it, and I need to share it the right way because I don't want it to get hidden. And I think so much of this society is about hiding the truth, about skewing the truth, about ripping the truth apart, right? Just making it something ugly. And I want the truth to be shared as it is, in its purest form. And I know that when I share the truth that way, it holds its own power beyond me. All I need to do is speak it into existence, and it will take a life on its own. And I trust and believe that. And anyone who tries to attack me or rip me down, I have been there and done that so many times around. Like, I am bulletproof. I am bulletproof at this point. There's nothing that you can say to discourage me from speaking the truth anymore. I think before, the idea of having a battle of the wills and having people take sides and having people wonder, well, who's telling the truth and who isn't, that used to give me a lot of stress and anxiety. Now I do not care. I will speak my truth, and you do what you want with that information, but I'm going to carry along my way feeling lighter, feeling like I've done my part, right? Because I can't convince people, but I can speak my truth. And I think that has done so much benefit for my own personal wellness because I'm not sitting on information that I know I need to be disseminating. And a lot of people are, and for the wrong reasons. I think if you're sitting on it for now because you're waiting for the right moment, okay. But if you're sitting on it because you're allowing yourself to be intimidated, you're allowing yourself to be terrorized, to be put in a fear-based situation where you know that that truth is going to be what helps someone make the right decision in a specific context, then that's something that you need to share, right? And I think that I have shared the truth the wrong ways 100%. I have picked the wrong moments, picked the wrong people, picked the wrong settings to disclose my truth. And I think that picking the right time and place for the truth to be readily received and for people to be receptive to it, I think that is something that comes with maturity and with practice. For me now, it's less about like what specific people and how do I get this out to as many people as absolutely possible. How do I make sure that this truth isn't buried and isn't hidden? And I trust and believe that in the right time, that truth being out there in the ether will bring about the appropriate consequences. And so because I trust that, because I believe that with all of my heart, I speak my truth, I will continue to speak my truth. I will not allow myself to be silenced, to be put in a fear-based state. I will not allow myself to cower in the face of people who have an issue with the truth because they feed off lies, and including their own lies. And if they're not feeding off lies or filling off like the kinds of behavior that you don't want people to talk about, which is its own video, might I say, then those are not the people that I'm going to allow to sway me. They're not going to be the kind of people that influence my behavior and influence my actions in a direction that is not in alignment with my highest self. So I wanted to come in here and talk about telling the truth. It is not a gift that people want. I can tell you that. It's not a gift that keeps on giving. I think people, with time, with space, with the opportunity to calm down, appreciate the truth, appreciate the accountability that came with the truth. Because a lot of the people who have gotten away with dirty things in the dark, it holds them captive. Like they're bondage through their own lifestyle, to their own lives, and to the things that they've been getting away with that are putting them in a deeper pit. And I think once the truth comes out, though there's chaos, there's a lot of, movement as a result of it, it's also an opportunity to reset. It's an opportunity to be free and to do things differently. And oftentimes life and reality will shift and change, and it will force you to do those things, to do that work, to do that inner work, that inner thinking, and to do things differently. The truth demands change, it demands action, and it demands that each of us do what it is that we need to do to ensure that whatever it is that comes up, that it is addressed accordingly so that it doesn't happen again, or that it's contained in the appropriate ways. So that's my talk today. I want to talk about truth. I want to talk about the importance of speaking your truth, even if it's not the most appreciated gesture. I think it's an important gesture that we do for ourselves. It's chicken noodle soup for the soul, to speak your truth into existence. But always make sure that if your truth is going to change and alter lives, like make sure that you are confident in what it is that you're saying. And I tell you, I mull things over. Like I take so much time to process things before I say them, that when I say them, I am 100% confident. Like there's no margin of error, that what it was that I perceived is what I perceived. Like I was my own harshest critic and harshest investigator before I spoke those words into existence. Because I do that, I question myself when it is the case that I've seen something jarring. When I speak it, I will defend it to the bitter end. the bitter end. And I wish that all of us had that kind of strength and that tenacity, because we need more truth bearers in this life. I think not only for the people who are victimized unknowingly or because they're ignorant to what's happening, but also for the people who are doing the things that the lies are keeping them in that cycle, right? Like lies and secrecy and, you know, all of that devious, obscure, subversive behavior. Like, if you want to get out, it's very hard to once you get down that slippery slope, but someone telling the truth gives you an opportunity to experience freedom. And I hope that in some roundabout way that me speaking the truth does that for the people who have found themselves entrapped and enslaved by their own lives and some of the lifestyle choices that those lies have created. In any case, that was it, but definitely not all. Now, before letting you go, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know we will be going live at least twice a month, every month for the foreseeable future on our Facebook page, so definitely be sure to tune in. Now, these events are paid events, so if you do see yourself participating in our community on an ongoing basis, then I do suggest that you take a look at one of our package plans. Yes, so we do offer package plans over and above our live events, as well as access to webinars and workshops largely focused on self-mastery over and above those events. So check it out, be part of our game changer community, being part of the change that you want to see, allowing us a small role to play in your journey. We are on the road to 1K, so we do invite you to follow us across all of our social media platforms, and we look forward to chatting with all of you very soon. We'll talk to you later.